My name is Clifton Ariwakehte Nicholas. I'm from the Ariwakehte territory, located in Oka. It's the same place, essentially. We use the term Oka because people recognize Oka from the crisis in 1990, so this is where I'm from. I was involved in that also, and all my roads have led to this point right now. I'm now the Quebec representative for the National Indigenous Medical Cannabis Association, which is something I feel very, very strongly about. I'm a part-time user. I do like to use edibles time and again. It helps with my anxiety. I think there's so much benefit in the medical spectrum to help people with different types of problems. Ranging from cancer to the mental health issues, and even regular physical issues. There's so many problems within our communities with opiates. We lose people in a small community like Conestoga. We lost one young man to opiates, and I think it's one person too many. Cannabis is pervasive in the community. The stigma needs to be removed. I think organizations such as NIMCA have the ability to remove that stigma. And I think this newer generation, the so-called millennials, are in tune with that. They know what it is and they want it. It's great. That whole Okie from Muskokie, we don't smoke marijuana, and Muskokie attitude, that stuff that's going to have to be put away and taken care of and explained and educated. People have to be educated about what this is and what it can bring to the community, and that no, it's not drug dealing. It's about creating a place for people to provide their medicine and other uses, a place for people to bring their products in, to sell it above board legally, a place for people to come to for funding. We have an opportunity to give back, which is something that we haven't had. We have a lot of issues with funding within our communities, in particular in Conestoga. When I talk about the Conestoga context of things, we have if we have 50 people left that speak the language. We have wonderful Ariwakehte teachers that can't do everything they need to do because they lack the funding. Well, with this, I'm sure we'll be able to help in the long run. Create something, put back what was taken away from us by the federal government, the millions of dollars they expended to destroy languages. Well, NIMCA and cannabis, I believe, can put that back, and it's an important thing to put back, because this is who we are.
You see a comparison between cannabis and tobacco,
in some regards, I do see a comparison with it in that potential, right, of having like too many dispensaries. I think that can be a bad thing. I believe everybody has the opportunity to take advantage of it, but I think we have to have a little more cohesion in this run of things. In the tobacco industry, from what I've seen, I did have a brief period when I was involved in that too, having a cigarette shack and so on, selling out of my yard. But too many people, start undercutting everybody. Then non-indigenous retailers were buying product directly from factories and basically undercutting everybody else's ability to make a living. And it's not wrong. That's totally wrong. I think that's a very European form of business. And I mean, business is business. I mean, trying to get away from the capitalist model. It's difficult, but I mean, there's a way to maybe create something that's not going to be modeled after that system of the best dog eat dog. It's not going to do us any good. We see that, like, we see so many people with lots of money and so many people with poverty right beside them. I think that's not something I want to be a part of. I've seen it happen, and I'm not going to disparage the tobacco producers and the tobacco retailers, because they do put back too. I mean, it wouldn't be fair to say they take away and they don't put back. They do, but I mean, there's so much more that we can do to make sure that everybody floats. Everybody floats, and that we have the funds coming in to a national organization that will be able to distribute things, will be able to do things and help people to fund them, to make their lives easier and their lives better. we have so many things that we need to do as Indigenous people. It really, it's almost painful, the amount of work that we need to do. But it's something we have to. So much was taken away, so much has to be put back, and this is a step in the right direction.
Could you speak a bit about the current political context in Quebec? There's been dispensary raids, but also could you talk about how, what you think the market is for cannabis? Do you think that Indigenous producers would be producing for that non-native market, or how do you?
I surely hope that we'll produce for that market also. I think that there's an opportunity, again, being Indigenous, that we have an opportunity to do things that the non-Indigenous population can't do at the moment. There have been dispensaries that have been open. There's some people involved with that others within the industry do not agree with in the model and the way in which they're approaching it. I think there's a lot of issues in Montreal with that. So that's why, in the Indigenous communities in Kahnawake, Kanesatake, and Akwesasne, there's an opportunity to have these things taken out of those hands. And if they want to open up dispensaries in the city, non-Indigenous people are more than welcome to. I can't stop that anyways. But I think we have an opportunity to do it differently and to basically change the status quo as that's concerned. It's an inevitability. We have to fight through the challenges of the hypocrisy on the political level. You have Trudeau saying one thing out of the side of his mouth, to get votes, and then on the other end of his mouth he's saying that law enforcement has to enforce marijuana laws. Well, what is it, Justin? And the people want it, and people are ready. People in Quebec smoke a lot of cannabis use, and it's pretty open in a lot of ways. So it's a nut that's ready to be cracked right now, but there's a way to crack it that satisfies everybody. One of the beautiful things about being within Indigenous communities is that we are not tax collectors for federal or provincial governments. We will adhere to the rules that we set for ourselves now. We have to be able to do and pass our own judgments and do our own thing, because we are sovereign peoples, and we have that right. And I think this is the thing that we have to use. We have to exercise that right to become the spear point in the cannabis industry in Canada. If we don't, once again, it'll be taken from our hands like tobacco was.